All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and this is Shadows of the Past. We are rejoining Einrich as he is traveling from Kiz, the ancestral home of the ancient king of Carpathia, and traveling to a small village nestled in the foothills of the mountains. I believe it is Castra, kind of like Kastra, the capital city of Carpathia now, but with a C instead of a KH. And this small little farming village is protected by its geographical location, but it is not very big, and it is, you know, that not. It doesn't have a castle. It doesn't have a wall. It has some dogs that protect the farms at night. But other than that, it's very open to if say hill giants were to come down from the bigger hills here to the south.
Yeah. All right. Next stage. You know my plan? Hop in the next caravan, pay them.
Yes, and so we will cover your fee for this, but first we have to roll your random encounter table for your last day of travel, sir.
Zero.
0. Oh wait, no, that's right. Uh, I had already rolled a random encounter, so
Refill.
I already have that planned as part of what's gonna happen here.
Okay.
So you can just travel to the city, and the encounter, because it rolled so high, will be part of everything that is going on. So as your wagon pulls into Kastra, the small farming village, you see peasants going about their business. They grow hardy tubers. We're talking like turnips and onions and things of that nature.
Yummy. Now to zoom out to see where you put me, or you just did not put my icon.
I have not put you on just yet. I
All right.
will. I will get you there. So as you arrive and look around from the view of the cart as you're coming down the mountain, you can see the peasants going about their business. You can see dogs and chickens and uh, other, livestock being herded or just milling about their pens. Everybody seems to be kind of dour looking.
Dour looking. What does that mean? Dour.
Dour is another word for like extra sad peasanty.
Okay.
Like uh
Life
some
is harsh.
yeah, somebody who would be considered dour looking would be um like a Ian McKellen, or someone like that when they're playing like Gandalf and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, President. So now I interact.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
What is the name of that city?
Castra, not to be confused with the capital Kastra.
Okay, so this is Castra. I'm gonna open my Word document. So it's a village and not a city. Do we agree?
Yes.
All right. So the village of Castra. Um, so I guess I will approach the first peasant. Greetings, fellow. I was going to say adventurer, but that's not the case. Hello, fellow. Um,
Ugh.
do you have a mare?
A
Leader?
mare? The horses are back in the stable.
All right. How about is there a leader or someone in charge in the city?
Someone in charge. That would be the Lord Magistrate. He comes by once a month to collect taxes.
All right. So there's no one permanent, right?
Yeah,
Deputy, sheriff,
we mostly
guard captain.
we mostly fend for ourselves.
All right. Is there a property to sell in this environment? This in the village of Castro?
Uh, you wanna buy one of these crumbling buildings here?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to talk to whatever families in them right now. Most of the people here just kind of moved into whatever was here when they got here.
Oh, and there's no completely empty places already. They could just move
I
in.
don't know. What do I look like? A real estate agent? Go look around.
All right. Thank you, kind sir.
Uh,
Oh,
what?
take a copper.
Oh,
Here we go.
thanks. I'll spend this
And
the
give him a
next time.
copper.
I'll spend this the next time I'm in a city. Look at me. Look at me, everybody. I got metal money. Everybody just kind of laughs.
Okay, so that was useless, right?
Yeah, they're self-sufficient out here, so like they never spend the metal money, but he's got to get back to his turnips.
Yeah. I will simply move around and ask the next peasant. Excuse me, kind sir. Maybe one day it's going to be a ma'am if you change icons, but I imagine it's a
I'm
sir.
not a sir. Are you a knight?
Maybe I'm too polite to this for this place. So, kind sir, is there a farm or a building here that is currently not occupied by anyone?
Uh, I don't know.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
At this point, I'll keep going.
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
understand what I'm gonna have to do.
It's not that like they're trying to be unhelpful. It's that they're kind of dumb.
Yeah. I'll go knock at this door and see if someone answers. I'm gonna just go if the buildings that are available are on this map, I'm gonna knock building per building.
Yeah. Okay, so when you knock on that door, there is a young man that answers.
Greetings, young man. I'm just gonna repeat. Do you know of any building or farm, regardless of its quality, that is not currently occupied by anyone? So I could move in or maybe even purchase it from the Lord Magistrate.
The Lord Magistrate doesn't charge anybody for the buildings. It's just the tax we have to pay every month to live here under his protection. Although, the truth be told, you're better off learning how to swing that sword you got there.
All right. I would not. I would not mind having a place of my own to live, but I certainly do not want to evict anyone.
Do you know how to build one?
I'm not a carpenter. I'm pretty good with my hands, but I'm not a carpenter. I I could maybe pay I have a bit of money. Well, I'll get it soon. So maybe I could pay someone to build it. My skills, I'm a tinkerer. That's it.
Hmm.
Is there anyone here interested in actual metal money? The other peasants were making fun of me when I gave them a copper for their kind services.
You gotta understand, we don't get out much.
All right. So, who would be willing to help me build my own place here in exchange for my tinkering services?
I mean, I guess we could kind of put something together. There's a few of us, that have some scrap pieces. Most of these places, as you can see, are pretty much crumbling. Actually, if you don't mind leakies, you can
I'm a
come
patient man. I
you
will
can
take all
come
the
you
time
can
it takes.
come down here on the south side of the map.
All I see is black spaces because of the dynamics. All right.
So yeah, if you don't mind things leaking all over you, we got this little shed right here.
All right. Not what I was looking for, but feasible. Thank you.
Hey, you know what they say, man, you take what you can get.
Yeah. I mean, if it's given, I would gladly just occupy it for now and,
Yeah.
put my name to it. Is there a smithy or someone who tools things around here?
Yeah, we used to have someone to do that, but he caught the plague and died last year.
Oh, that means you might have a forge in the area.
No, that caught the plague and died with him. No, uh, I think there's a forge in one of these.
I mean, it would be much more useful if I had access to the forge, since I melt metal to tinker, and I would gladly offer my repair tools.
Oh no, he just worked with what he had. He didn't have an actual forge.
All right. I mean, I've got tinkering tools. So, um, let it be known to the rest of them that in exchange for food, I would repair tools and houses.
You don't have any food? Well, that's one thing we got in abundance here in Castra. We have all the turnip soup you can eat.
Yeah, I see that you have different things, not just turnip, but hey, turnip it is. Don't you hunt?
Hey, don't let the map fool you. Just because it's got different representations doesn't mean that's what's necessarily growing there. We got turnips, we got onions, and we got Brussels sprouts.
Well, that's three things. That's good enough for me. Um, okay, so basically, I got screwed. I thought that this was going to be a city with some population where I could hire a carpenter and stuff like that.
Ooh, this is a small village. I mean, there's more than what you're seeing here. There's
Yeah,
like there's like 2,000 or 1,500 or something like that. But it's this is a general representation of the kind
yeah,
of life and people that you're gonna find here.
yeah. Okay. So having a lot of money in a place I can't spend, it's fucking useless. All right. Thank you, sir. I'm just gonna go sit and crash and think for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So there's like a straw bed there. It's nothing much,
Yeah.
but it allows you to sleep for now. And so that is what you do. And this guy goes back to his little hut.
All right. So I guess it's part of life to discover what's going on in other places. Then, there's no Google where I could have checked what's
Right.
going on here.
Yeah, no.
So I arrive here, I ask for a place, I'm ready to buy. They just give it to me because the people that lived here died. I have my toolbox, and everything else is the various materials around. So I would go and, chop myself a tree and start to tinker. A system of locks with, just the basic materials I have.
Yeah, well, you would have on you like enough basic materials to make things like, locks or shackles or, something like that, to where
Yeah,
um
it's
you,
actually covered in my in my inventory that I have a sack of junk.
yes. So so with the bits and pieces that you have, you start constructing a lock.
Yeah, I just want to be able to lock something, and um, I will engrave my name in a plank next to the door, and under the bucket, I would remove a plank to make myself a little stash, so I can hide the gold and whatnots that I don't want to carry with me at all times.
Oh yeah, better hide that gold that nobody around here wants.
Well, it's not a question of that nobody wants. If someone falls on my pack of 4,000 something gold, they're going to leave this life and go into the city, and
That's a good point. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, they might not
So
be able to do much with a copper piece, but 4,000 gold is that
yeah,
fuck you money.
yeah, exactly. So basically, when I said, well, each time I say, well, I can buy things, well, I'll have the money soon. I just have to go and get it. It's to convince anyone that the money is not on me, but it wasn't backpack. And I'm gonna hide it in the house and lock it from inside, and put the bucket on the place where I stash it. So
Well, it's
anyone,
simple enough to make a bar latch for now that
yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not gonna be insane. I have to be able to unlock it from outside.
Right.
So maybe just
That's what you're working on, but to lock it from the
yeah,
inside, you can set up a simple lever latch that.
yeah. But so I won't be disturbed. But when I leave, I want to make a system of pulley that is hidden through the roof. Just like pull a thing that triggers a latch. It's
Yeah.
not cool, really safe, but mostly no one intelligent enough here. As long as I don't attract attention, no one will try to look at my house and try to unlock the door.
Yeah.
And if they tried, they would have to be smart enough to, try to find that little piece of cord that is just on top of the roof under somewhere.
Well, if you do it just right, the way it should work is that there's a piece of the wood that makes up the house that is camouflaged in with the rest of the side of the house, but is actually a hidden lever that you can pop and pull down, and then that'll pull the rope that lifts the latch.
All right, that's what I do. Let
Yes,
me
but
do a
it's gonna
roll on
but it's
that.
gonna take you a while. Like, let's just be clear that this isn't just like,
Yeah, I'm gonna
oh,
spend the day on that.
right, okay.
Yeah, well, 11,
Hey,
an,
that's
an
fine.
average job.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be some sort of masterwork thing. It just has to be passable, and it is.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not about how good something is done, but how careful you are to not make anyone try to look.
Right,
Like if I don't give any reason for anyone to try to look,
right. It
and,
just it
and
just looks like you're doing normal repairs
yeah,
and tinkering.
yeah, and all right. So I would spend the day going from peasant to peasant in my immediate area. You told me there's 1,500s. Let's just say I go to the champion the local champion,
Mm-hmm.
and then all the peasants, and I just say, "What do you need repaired? I'll just repair it." And I'll
Well,
spend my day doing that.
yeah, I mean, you're new here and people are kind of xenophobic and untrusting, and it seems as though everyone in this town is a little off put. They're like not happy and everybody is just like curt with you to where they don't wanna talk.
All right. So how am I gonna eat if no one talks to me?
Well, I mean, they'll feed you and all of that, but the thing is you notice that there's a body collector, and for a small town like this to have a body collector, that means people are dying way more frequently than usual.
All right, then I'll talk to the. I don't know if you insist on having my icon next to him, but I'll talk to the guy who was kind enough to just point me to this hut
Yeah.
and say, and explain to him why is everybody so gloomy and why is everyone dying?
Well, you kind of touched on it right there. It comes down to, a lot of people have lost loved ones recently. This town has been particularly hard hit, not just by the plague that has ravaged all of the lands, but also by a series of attacks by what must be wild animals.
All right, that is enlightening. How about these wild animals? Can you point me in their direction? If there's any witness,
The
they
only
must
thing
know
the
which
only
animal.
thing we've ever found is clawed tracks leading to the cemetery. We keep digging up all the graves and trying to find if there's some sort of monster in the cemetery, but we haven't found anything.
Would you care to accompany me? And I would go with you and investigate that.
I've already looked, but if you want to look again, let's set off this evening and go take a look.
All right, it's better by night, right? At this,
Well, the creature comes out at night, so
yeah,
like,
yeah,
do you want to catch it or do you want to like pussyfoot around looking around in the day?
yeah. Let's catch it.
All right, so we'll go there at night. It's agreed.
Yeah.
We're men, manly men, with hair on our chests. This kid seems eager to prove something. Hold on, I gotta turn off the sun.
I gotta turn off the sun. Yeah. How about I'm
Oh,
gonna
one,
have the
one
normal
second, I gotta install the moon.
Funny.
Oh no, where's the moon? Sorry, I have misplaced the moon.
No problem.
Oh, no problem. Say that when the tidal waves are all like going crazy. There you go. Now you got a moon.
Yeah, okay. Nothing
And
for me.
and oh no,
I see.
it hasn't been installed just yet. I put it in the game so that I can do this.
All right.
See, now you have dim lighting.
It looks identical to what I had before.
Really?
Yeah.
What a bummer. It's supposed to be dimmer.
It could be a bit dimmer. Yeah, a tad.
Okay. So
I
as
mean,
you approach, this is an
yeah.
ancient cemetery that has served this area since before this current incarnation of Castra was built.
So this is pre-Castron cemetery.
Correct.
All right, let me take a look here. I'm gonna do the general look around. So I'm gonna do this investigation at
Well, well,
advantage.
first perception. If you're generally looking around, that's perception.
All right, so I'm gonna do that perception at advantage, um, and you tell me if it's advantage or not, because it might be about undeads, and if it, undeads and the like, and in this case, it's my crit 28 that comes in.
Yeah. So the first thing that you realize is that there's a lot of new graves. And then the second thing that you realize is that um, some of the old graves are dug up too.
Yeah, he told me that they dug up everything. Is there
Yeah,
anything else that stands out?
yeah. So if they dug it up, why didn't they rebury it?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask this. Actually, I was wondering. I just thought they dug up and there was nothing because it's so old that it's all decomposed. That's what I took for granted,
Hmm.
that it was just decomposed, so they didn't see the point of, they made a mess here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like,
I won't ask the question because, in truth, when you told me some of it is dug up and that's it, I just thought they're excited and trying to find the monster, so they're not focused on keeping everything tidy. So
right.
I'll just comment. I see you don't refill the tombs, so probably that there's no point for you to take care of it, or that you don't have respect for the dead, or there's no more dead in those.
He looks at you and with wide eyes says, "We did."
Ah, you did bury those again. All right.
And as he says that, you hear the sound of two chords. Da-na,
uh,
da-na-na.
right on my bow. That's what I do.
Yes.
Ready to bow and put the right on it. 3. I'm gonna check if it's still just a D4 in case. Yeah. Ah, zombies. That is so interesting. And in my inventory, I needed zombie stuff to do the holy water and the necrotic one.
And now we roll for
Initiative.
initiative.
Well, I guess 11 is not all that bad. There's a 20 out there. Okay. He's far. Good.
The zombies shuffle towards you guys. Attacking the local champion with a slam. The local champion defends himself as he draws his sword.
I move here. It was that move. I was at 27.5 feet. And from here, I'll attack this guy. My longbow. Normal roll with a Crimson Rite, and it is undead. From Chester, set attribute, setting.
Oh,
Range.
don't worry about that. It's doing what it's supposed to.
Okay, I thought it might have been a mistake or a
Nope.
problem.
Yep, nope. Everything is good. So,
All right, so
your arrow flies through the air and strikes the zombie. However, they're resistant to piercing damage, so it only deals half damage.
It deals half of the 8 and full of the 5.
Correct.
Cool. My turn is done. Oh yeah. Click done.
The zombies can only move 20 feet and can't take a double move.
Oh, they can't dash?
No. They are incapable of performing the dash action. These are slow zombies. They're not quite homers, but they're close. As he slams at the local champion again. Dealing 6 bludgeoning damage as his fists pound against the boy's armor. The local champion's like, hey, what the hell, man? And he gives him the old bastard sword treatment.
That's why you have problems here. There's zombies all over the place.
And he slashes the zombie for 11 damage and an extra 10 crit damage, cleaving his head right off.
Swoosh.
And then he is not going to action surge. He's just going to move back to block towards you so that you can shoot around him.
Yeah. Cool. This guy.
Your arrow once again strikes, but you can tell that it's resistant to the piercing.
Yeah. And I rolled low damage, but that's okay. A crit 1 happens much more often on a d4, so that's why it keeps popping.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm looking forward to having 2 attacks per round eventually.
Yeah. It's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
Is that your turn?
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. So I have to click enter. Oh.
Yay! Zombie slam. Ah. The zombie slams into him again, dealing another 2 damage. This zombie is dead. Well, I mean, they're all dead, but like this
I get your drift.
this one's deader than the rest.
Actually, the zombies are not dead. They're undead.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the difference by going from undead to dead.
That's true. Oh man, they got horrible ACs. I was checking to see if a 12 hits. Like that's plenty. Dealing another 10 slashing damage to the zombie, but it doesn't finish it. Now you can shoot through any of the areas where it's like crumbled, but you can't shoot through like the wall because you can't see over it.
Okay, I I don't want to store my bow um, and lose any action. I'm just gonna drop the bow so I can use my bonus action to do the right on my sword.
Okay.
Place my save here, do my movements, so I can then actually about here. So what I want to do is if I can reach this guy, I guess I can if I put myself here. You're right. I will stop where I had said before, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Sorry
It's okay.
for repeating. And I'm going to just use the blade, not vampiric.
You stab and slash at the zombie, taking it down, but it gets to roll a save.
Oh, they have that thing that they have to roll or die.
Uh-huh. He fails his save and your damage cuts his head off and he dies. Is that your turn?
And then I click enter. You know, when you explain all this, I look at the mathematics. Is there a strategy? I start thinking about my next round, and I forget I have to confirm I'm done.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm strategizing.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Comes with habit.
Yeah. The zombie shuffles forward and attacks you.
Nope.
You raise your shield in time to block the zombie's attack. The local champion, not waiting for the zombie, steps forward to attack it. Dealing 6 slashing damage.
Right. I'm going for the guy who just struck me. It is undead. Woo!
As you swing your blade, you deal 22 damage, and it's a critical hit, and it's radiant damage. Oh, I forgot the other guy was radiant damage too, so you didn't actually, he didn't get a roll, he was just dead. So this guy is just dead too. And it's a critical hit or radiant damage that cancels out their save.
All right, so this one did both.
Yes. Also, don't forget you can do a called shot to the head with your arrow to negate their piercing resistance.
Oh, if I do a call shot, then I shoot at disadvantage?
Yes. But if you do the called shot to the head, then they don't get their piercing resistance.
I put myself here for strategic reasons. And I end turn.
The zombie continues to bash against the local champion. Oh, he is too good defensively for it this time.
Actually, maybe I put myself in a flanked position.
The zombie doesn't know it, but he has advantage because he's flanking you.
Yeah. I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, both rolls were.
Yeah, both rolls were a 3.
Two, yeah, or 3, yeah.
But now the local champion has advantage as he attacks the zombie, dealing 6 more slashing damage. He decides that this would be a good round to use his action surge to finish this zombie off, hopefully, and come and help you. Oh, he only deals 6 more damage and can't come help you.
All right. That's okay. I'm going to attack this guy.
It was a tactically sound plan.
Giving him advantage was the point. And hopefully he would finish it off, but he didn't. So now I've got advantage on me. But, I still crit with the Radiant. Well, it's not a big crit. It's just 4.
Yes.
16
on this guy, right?
No, I went on him. I did not finish the other. I went on him to start him off.
Yeah, but if you finish this guy, then you won't be at advantage when any of them attack.
I'm aware of that, but my character did not think about it.
Gotcha.
I'm playing in function of this guy. He's got this one. He's gonna finish him off. So I'm looking in this direction now.
Yep, gotcha.
So
All right.
I'm just that.
Yeah, so basically,
I would not do this if I was going to die. I would become an adrenaline. I would start to hyperthink, which means a bit more in metagaming. But in this case, it's kind of role play that I've got this, you know?
yeah, no, 100%.
It's details that makes it more immersive.
Is that your turn?
Oh, shit. Serious. Because I start, we just had to say, are you advantaged? And I completely forgot to enter. Just one thing, and I was out.
The zombie comes over here to slam you.
Slam away. Slam away. Slam away. Slam away. Slam away. All right. Yeah.
This one continues to slam at the local champion even though it's not advantage. Because he's a dumb zombie and he rolled a 3.
Yeah.
This one attacks you at advantage.
Yeah.
No. You raise
No.
your shield once again, blocking the zombie.
I'm just gonna check one thing. Yeah, I forgot to roll my Hemocraft die for the second wound. 3 more points off.
Oh,
I just
gotcha. Oh, for your damage. Gotcha.
Yeah, my damage. Like when I said I Hemocraft I do the right on my blade, I have to take the damage. Sorry, why am I still at that much damage? Yeah, that much life.
Ooh, the zombie fails and is dead.
I'm finishing off this guy. Yeah, well. Uh-huh.
And as you stab him, radiant light burns out his eyes and he drops to the ground.
I will use my movement. Put myself here.
Huh.
Giving a fancy cue to our local hero. You see, I click enter.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So by the end of the session, I will be able to think back and say, at least I clicked once during the entire session. And hopefully to think more.
He slashes into the zombie, but it's still up and fighting.
All right.
Now I didn't click the button.
Yeah, but or you were typing, so I thought, okay, he's taking notes.
I was trying to make something work.
Hey.
13 damage, but not enough to destroy the zombie. Oh, wait, let me check if they're vulnerable to radiant. Nope. That would have been a good thing to know beforehand, but nope. I didn't think so, but still. The zombie was attacking you and therefore continues to.
Come on, Loco. Oh, he hit.
5 bludgeoning damage as his fist powers through your shield and bruises your arm slightly. The local champion's like, "Bring it on, you bastard!" Oops, I forgot to roll with advantage. Still hits. Gotta roll again though just to see if I crit.
Well, it's dead.
Nope. Because if I crit,
It doesn't.
it's dead. But if I don't crit, then it still gets its roll. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't crit, so now it gets its roll. And it fails, so it is dead.
All right. He will probably notice that my sword is shining.
Yes. And uh he says, "What? We've never had such monstrosities before. What evil have you brought to this place?"
Oh, come on, dude. Way before I was here, the people will die in disappearing. And they made that, okay?
Mm.
So I'm not at fault. If you want to blame me, just think about it.
You should roll for persuasion with advantage.
All right. I'm going to do a persuasion.
Yeah, so you know, explain to him logically and reasonably how, like, whatever's going on here in the graveyard started before you and you're here to help. And uh he asks you about your glowing sword.
Well, if you think about it, once the undead plague started here, I arrived simply because I track these things and I specialize in killing them. And I'm
So
gonna.
you're some kind of hunter?
I'm an undead slayer. Yeah,
Huh.
and you seem to know yourself around a sword pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would appreciate if we collaborate together. I'm sure you would like your city to be, your village to be cleared of whatever creates the zombies, because we have not resolved that. Killing the zombies is just one part. Finding the source is the other part.
These things could come back.
Not those who are on the ground. The corpse have been desecrated. It cannot be reanimated. But there are more corpses
There's
over
always
the
more corpses.
over the centuries. And when people die, they get buried here during the day, and in the night, some of them can be raised again. So we'll have to do a little work to find what causes the zombie plague. But until then, we have a gloomy work to do now. I'm gonna need your help
What
to
are we gonna
harvest.
do?
I'm gonna need your help to harvest the brain and the heart of all these zombies here.
Oh, hell no.
Well, then you take watch while I do the job. I'm not gonna force you on it.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna try to keep a hand on my sword until I realize that it doesn't work. So I'm gonna drop the right on my sword and just I say, "Hey, local champion, you probably have a name.
Yeah.
My name is Heinrich, and you?"
Uh, my name is uh. Hold on. Generating. I would think of one, but like, I'd rather see a random generated list to pick from. I know. DMs are supposed to have like these lists of names ready to go and all of that, but you never know when an NPC is going to be somebody
Yeah,
that you want to interact with or not. So if you go around naming every NPC, you're going to drive yourself insane.
yeah. Like in this case, it was local champion until I invited him and a dynamic started.
Yes, exactly. All right, so we are going to go with none of those because those are ridiculous.
All right, you found a lame list.
Dur Festa, Foscon, Ath. Like, no. All right. Uh, oh my God, yes. Dempster.
All right, Dempster. Well, Dempster. I imagine he presented himself as Dempster.
No. He does not present himself as Dempster. 1 second. He presents himself as D.
D. Okay, Dempster D. Noel.
He doesn't tell you his name is Dempster.
Yeah, he just says, "Hey, I'm D." All right. Well, you can call me Einrich.
Einrich.
Um,
That's a funny sounding name, Einrich.
yeah, it's not from here, I guess. Could you just hold the torch, please, while I do my work? Oh, and by the way, take this. This is some kind of small flammable bomb. I'm gonna give him a alchemist fire. Okay,
You
so
want
this
me to
fire,
hold the torch and this flammable vial of alchemist fire?
it's close. You need, the glass. The glass is tough enough. Like if you fall on your ass, it's not gonna blow. So you really need to throw it hard at a target.
Hey, I'm just making sure I understand what's going on here.
Yeah, yeah. So you can, hold the torch with one hand, take that fire, put it in your pack with the other hand. It's easy.
Okay.
Like I'm not like the old geezer that puts the gasoline into his car and sit right next to the input of the gasoline and
Uh-huh.
lights a cigar and even taps the cigarette just above it, just
Yeah.
without realizing. But anyway, um, I
Oh,
mean,
whoa,
unless
whoa. I almost dropped it.
seriously, there are things that you just don't roll, like when you give someone a ball.
Oh, there's always things that can be rolled, like when a young man who hasn't had this much field experience is trying to hold a torch and put a thing of alchemist fire in his backpack.
Okay, all right. Just stop wiggling, and I'm hold the torch straight, and
Yeah, there
I'm
you go.
doing that.
Now you're getting flashbacks from young Jorgen messing up and you're realizing that maybe this kid could use some mentoring as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw in my mind. So, I guess he would watch me for the next, 5 minutes per zombie, so half an hour,
Mm-hmm.
just doing a gloomy work without disgust, without despise. He said, I do ultra. I need these components to do alchemy. So
Yeah, whatever you say, man.
you have to make me roll. Um, well, that's what you did the last time on. Like there's 6 zombies, maybe a d6 of hearts, a d6 of
Oh, yeah.
like. Oh
So
yeah, what I did first was I rolled my alchemy to see how good I, or a dex check. I mean, I forgot what it was, but you had me do a roll. Maybe alchemy is how I also harvest components. So basically, that's a question I'm asking you.
okay, so two of the zombies have brains that can be recovered. The rest were like, spilled out and not like fully brain recoverable. You still get brain matter and all that, but it's not a zombie brain. You get
All right.
two zombie brains.
Okay. So I'm gonna put this here.
And five zombie hearts.
That is going to be cool. So now I can go and brew these things. Now, if there's no shop around, I'll run out of glass vials and I'll start making Ultimus Fire in, leather pouches and stuff, so it's less elegant. So I'm gonna have to resolve the situation. Let's say that now that I left, I only have a few vials on me because I never
Mm-hmm.
took track of that. I just figured like it's part of the process. But if there's no glass commerce around here, I mean, in 1,500 people, there has to be a bit of
There,
activity.
there, there is a bit of activity, and the one thing you do have going for you is that for a small town, there is some amount of traffic from people traveling, from Castra,
Yeah,
down.
it was directly on that road.
Right.
So imagine there's an inn also for travel.
There is an inn, yes.
I'm not gonna go there now, but uh, yeah, okay. Um, hey D, are you good to continue our search here?
Oh yeah, of course. In fact, if we just rest a little bit longer, I can spend one of my hit dice.
Yeah, that's super meta. Like I would feel better if we rested. I understand spending hit dice in game. That's yeah. Let's go spend hit dice.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I
I
get the mechanic. It's just fun.
yeah. I'm
So
letting you, the player, know what the mechanic is, while also, having him say in character that he needs a rest.
yeah. All right. So yes, I will also want to rest and recuperate.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And yeah, I'm gonna start rolling 9. Yeah, it's gonna be good for now. So 1 hour pass, and did he heal something?
Oh, only four? Bummer.
Well, roll another one, unless he's level 1.
No, he's not level 1, but he'll save it. He's like, nah, I'm all right.
All right, we're good. Let's go further south, my friend. Let's go look at the main crypt and the butterfly one on the right. Let's start with the main entrance to this place.
All right.
All right, what is going on here? What is that?
All right. So, in reality, the map, it is a clawed hand clutching a ball. Um,
Yeah,
for our purposes, what it is a raven's claw clutching a represent
Skull.
a representation of the von Liechtenstein family crest mounted on like a skull. Yeah.
All right. Um, I'll try to look at the knickknacks and the details and see if there's a push button, trap, symbol, extra information, hidden words, whatnots.
Roll for investigation. As you investigate the monument here, you see that there is one of the claws that has a weird seam, and as you investigate it further, you see that it can be removed.
All right. I recommend you step back, D. I'm gonna go and pull on that thing, see what happens. So my shield in front of me, only my hand exposed to the thing. I pull it as hard as I can.
As you pull the claw, it pulls out to reveal a key hidden in there.
All right, let's take the key. Anything else?
Yes. Below the key, you see a little marking.
Right? In which language?
It doesn't appear to be any language.
It is marking, and I speak a Dwarvish and Elvish. So
Yeah. Yeah, it appears to be like magical script of some kind.
yeah, that's what happened when you're only one class. To play solo, we should be 2 levels of fighter, 2 levels of bard, 2 levels of you know
Yeah.
5 classes, 2 levels, and be level 10, and still not be able to do much, but everything is covered. All right. We got magical markings. I'm gonna take my little skills that I have in writing stuff, and I'm gonna try to reproduce the symbol on a little micro piece of paper or whatever scrap I have.
As you try to read the symbol, suddenly you feel a sharp flash. Make a constitution saving throw.
Oh, the symbol is attacking me because it's magic. 12.
You are paralyzed in place for 1d4 hours.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
1 hour.
All right. He said, "Yeah, I can't have him 4 hours stuck. Let me roll for it."
So D is like, what's going on? Are you all right?
He get but the answer of my silence
Oh, you can talk.
when paralyzed.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. So can't move. Can't. There's freaking magic on this thing, and I can't move.
Oh, that's not good. Um, what is that you grabbed from there?
Well, I was trying to inscribe. I was trying to inscribe the the symbol to make a copy of the symbol, but it appears
No,
that reading.
I saw you grab something.
Yeah, I grabbed a key.
Oh man, maybe you should give me the key while I go check it out, and you can, walk this off.
You know that you might die in the process, right? You don't want to just chill and wait with me.
Are you? You're the one who is gonna die in the process here.
Yeah, of course. By the way, the key is just in my hand.
All right, so he takes the key and he goes over here and he pushes the button and the altar slides over and it opens up to reveal a crypt below.
Yeah, I mean, I'd feel more comfortable if you just stayed here for a moment until the spell wears off.
Yeah, but then how would I get all the treasure for myself?
Ah, is that what you want, treasure? I don't care about treasure. I never had any riches myself. I exist only for the cost. So go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead and get the treasure if you want. I mean,
thank you.
let's make a deal. If there's any treasure to have, wait for me just so I feel safe, and I'll give you all the treasure once we're done. I just want to, make sure you don't die in the process.
He descends down into the crypt. You hear as he is ruffling around. He's packing up stuff. You hear him kind of shouting, "Woohoo! Yeah!" He seems happy. Sounds like he's got quite the haul. You hear him prying things off the walls. He's doing some real grave robbery and looting here. And as he continues his rampage on everything here, uh, and time passes, suddenly you hear a loud thud as a stone lid of a sarcophagus is pulled off of one of the tombs down there.
All right, so something will be fed, and not by me.
And as he is down there, suddenly you hear screaming and then silence.
One little sheep, two little sheep, three little sheep. Just in my head, like, let's turn
Yeah.
it off.
As you are standing there paralyzed and helpless, you hear the sound of something slowly scraping its way up the stairs. It seems to have been doing something with D, but now it's done, and it slowly climbs the stairs. You see a shadow form across the yard before you can see it. And then as it steps up, you see pasted across the moon a full gaunt body of a human that is definitely no longer alive. At least not in any form that can be considered actual life.
Yeah. And that's not D, that's something else.
Yes. And it walks up to you and it sniffs you. It doesn't understand why you're not moving. And just as it's about to attack, suddenly you can move again.
Roll initiative.
Yes.
I will do my Hammercraft die, my blade. Take 3 damage for myself. And start whacking. Normal roll, Crimson, Undead. Slack.
Unfortunately, the vampire spawn is nimble and leaps out of the way of your sword attack, ready to pounce on you.
Pounce, pounce, baby.
It claws at you twice, but you nimbly raise your shield and deflect it.
This is a perfect little combat.
You strike the vampire spawn, dealing 16 damage.
How does it feel about the radiant? I mean, no, there's no, unless it says that is vulnerable to radiant, it just does what it does.
Yeah, it is not vulnerable to radiant.
Yeah.
I just
It's
double
just-
checked.
Yeah, the radiant is simply there to do its thing. Okay.
Yep.
Your turn, motherfucker.
But it is undead, of course.
Yeah, I clicked it.
It swings both of its claws at you again.
Ooh.
Hitting with one of them, it chooses to grab you instead of dealing damage. You will need to roll an escape attempt difficulty class 13 if you want to break free of the grapple.
Can I still attack?
Yes.
And it's not a disadvantage?
Correct. You simply can't move.
I simply cannot go away. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, right. You're holding me close, which is what I want right now.
Me too.
Yeah, not really. Go ahead. And I'm fighting, putting my shield in between the grapple and her. And your turn.
Yep.
So we're spinning around, turning around.
Yeah. And as it tries to bite you, you manage to just, dodge and wiggle enough to make it miss.
I'll do an escape. It's a strength.
Or athletics.
Yeah.
Or acrobatics.
Yeah, I would go with acrobatic, using some kind of martial move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you escape the vampire spawn's grasp.
Let's dance. Yeah, that hurts.
Once again, it grabs you instead of dealing damage.
Ah, it wants to grab me so I can do the next attack, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, at this point, I just have to successfully hit it. Hurt it enough. Minimum damage, but hey, it's okay.
Oh, and I forgot, it doesn't heal now because you did the radiant damage. It can't regain its life if it's dealt radiant damage. That's why it's important to deal radiant damage.
Yeah.
It can the next turn. You have to deal radiant damage every turn, but still.
Yeah, I mean it's part of the deal.
Is that your turn?
It is my turn. I was thinking about something.
It tries to bite you again, but you manage to, you know, keep it at bay.
All right. Um, I'm going to use my action to uh, hit it with a normal alchemist fire. So it is a ranged attack. Well, is it a melee attack or no? It's a ranged attack still, even at
It's a
5 feet.
it's a ranged attack, but if you do it right next to it, you have disadvantage.
Oh, because it's a ranged attack, so I would have to step back, do it. Yeah, screw that. Not doing this. Just gonna trust the process. And as long as I did not lose any significant damage, I'm not going to activate the extra vampiric blow. Although maybe I should.
You get another 16 damage on the vampire spawn. And it doesn't get the benefit of its regeneration once again. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, let me bite you.
I mean, there's one thing I do good. It's not spectacular, but I've got AC.
Yeah.
If I activate the vampiric thing on the blade, it will do more damage, right?
Well, it
I think it
has,
does one d6
yeah,
more.
it does deal the extra D4, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to activate the special property yet. Come on. Ah, swing in the butter.
So now you did not deal radiant damage to it this turn, so it'll heal at the start of this turn.
Go.
Right? Yes.
It
It
does not.
it doesn't hit you?
I have 19
Oh.
because of my +1 shield.
Oh, that's right.
All right. It did heal though. I want to prevent that.
Yes.
I will accept to take an attack of opportunity.
You can't move, you're grappled.
I'm grappled?
Yeah. That's why it's biting you.
Oh,
Trying to.
hey, look, let's try that. At disadvantage, if I go to weapons, simple. Uh, actually, let me program just a simple thrown item. It is a dex with no bonus. Um, the damage is output 1d4, but we know it's a 1d4 per turn, whatever. In this case, fire, but it's gonna be okay. Okay, so I'm gonna try that. It's not in a macro, but I'll try it. This is a test, and if it works, it works. And I have to redo this at disadvantage, or we can say 11 missed.
Yeah. Either way, 11 missed, but this was just regular fire.
Yeah, basically, I throw it at her feet. So even if she is not on fire,
The ground is.
it's in the area. So she's standing kind of, I could even say I just dropped it at her feet. And if she stays there on her turn, she might take damage.
Right.
So the goal is to let her decide to stay in the fire and not regen, or ungrapple me, or drag me along if she can.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, I guess it would do this.
As the vampire spawn takes 1d4 fire damage, it decides not to just stand there and take the fire damage and instead move around you to the other side, where it reinstitutes its biting of you.
At one point, she'll succeed. No! All right. She took the fire, so this turn she did not regen, but now I'm going to go.
Yes, she did. The fire did not seem to stop the regeneration.
Oh, okay. Then I won't waste my time with that. If I hit, I need to do a bit more damage. I'll activate Divine Power Product PT for 1 minute. So that when I hit, it hits more severely. So, Radiant,
Yes.
Vampiric, Slashing.
Yes. As you deal the damage, however, you feel something wrong with the vampiric property. You are actually damaged by the unlife you absorbed for 6 damage.
Well, I did do 6 more damage to it, right?
Yes.
All right. I will deactivate the friggin' property. That was nice to know.
Yeah, apparently using the vampiric blade on undead is a bad juju.
Yeah, because I don't want to. It's already. It is undead. There's no life to absorb.
Right, you're absorbing undeath. Is that your turn?
Yeah, it just doesn't help.
It was a good thing to learn, though. Better now than in a real life or death situation. Oh,
Yeah,
it just can't get a bite in on you.
and she crits, fails. Yeah. All right. So it is undead. No vampiric thing. 16 more.
16 more damage and no healing for Jew.
And I'll tell the vampire, just go back down in your crypt and hide again, and let me be. Suggesting that if she just ungrapples me and go back to her crypt.
Roll either persuasion or intimidate.
In this case, it was a persuasion. It was some kind of fake roll, but hey, I'm actually at -1 on this skill. So I roll a 7, total 6. So it probably sees through my strategy.
Yep. I was ready to let you go and do that, but then you rolled so bad that I can't, so.
Yeah.
All right.
I just wanted an attack of opportunity while it fled.
Yeah. All right. So, is that your turn?
Yeah. So it will keep attacking and competing. Well, it's a win-win because now she's not fleeing anyway. No.
Oh God! It almost bounced on the 20 and then bounced back.
I mean, it still rolls under 12. All your rolls were 12 or below so
I
far.
know. I know.
So if it rolls a 18 or 19 once at one point, it will grab me.
The sad
Just
part is this is your boss fight.
yeah, it's supposed to be a tough mofo. If it just rolls once above 15, 16, it should
Ooh,
get
I
me.
get to heal. Woo!
Uh you get the heal. Well, I
Yeah.
get to enter.
Heal.
This is a problem. Come on.
Oops, clicked the wrong button there.
Well, it did heal. I saw it go.
Yeah, now I healed, yeah. I had to
Okay.
roll the right thing. Oh
Ah,
my God, come
just
on.
a tad. It rolled 11 again.
I'm so close and so far. You know, this is the way it is. The other day I had a fight where like I was rolling really well and it made it extra deadly. It just, it is what it is. Oh, no more
Yeah.
healing. Oh, the vampire spawn is so near to death. It just wants to eat you. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm subtracting that right now. I had just reminded myself
Just
not to do.
reflex.
It's one of those things where you're like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, and then you just watch as you do it anyway.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh,
Yeah! She bites down into your neck, drawing your life force from you. You feel an immense, like, euphoria almost, and your life force leaving your
yeah,
body, and then it heals 8 damage.
yeah. And my max is down 8. I'll just remember. But it's until long rest, right?
Yeah. So
I gotta kill this biatch.
yeah, it just means that you can't heal up to full.
Yeah, come on. I mean, this girl, if she keeps healing like that,
Yeah, you might be the one having to flee.
or re-roll character at
Yeah.
this point, I'm tackled.
Yeah. It attempts to bite you again and oh, healing.
Yeah, this is not going well. No,
Oh, you managed to get it off of you temporarily.
good.
You slash into it again. And no healing. Oh, that is, yeah, not good. It fails to bite you again.
It's too hard for me to try to free myself, so I'm just gonna keep.
I think this is, you got a tiger by the tail. Yeah. You gotta just keep hacking at it. It's gonna get its healing.
I mean, it heals a lot.
10 points.
Bam. Come on, give me a good roll. Hey, talk to me.
21 points of damage and no healing. It tries desperately to bite you.
Fwing, fwing. Come on.
$14 damage and no healing.
As I see it state, a bit of confidence comes back and I'm focused. It does not.
Oh, I needed that 11 so bad. Oh, God. And 16 damage to you. I mean, that would have turned the tide right there.
Yeah, it would have
I'd have
if.
16, you'd have 12.
Yeah,
Oh. And
keep
you'd
going.
and you'd only be able to heal up to 28.
Yeah. Well, +2. I was 2 below when she got me, so.
What I'm
All
saying
right.
what I'm saying is you're at 39 is the most you can heal to right now. Another 11 would
Yeah.
put it at 28 would be the most you could heal to.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, is this fight not over?
This fight is not over.
Oh, the vampire spawn feels a surge of adrenaline as it is back in the fight.
Loser!
Your mama's a loser.
Squish.
Oh, 17 damage as you decapitate the vampire spawn and its body shrivels up in front of you, turning to ash.
So I don't get to harvest this one's head because I did holy damage to it.
Yep.
Or radiant.
Yeah.
All right. I'm heavily breathing. And I'm like, yeah. All right, this is shit, man. I'm going to take a minute to rest here. And actually, I'm going to sit my ass in the corner, look around that everything's safe, and start a short rest.
Yeah, I mean, as far as you can tell, there's not a whole lot of commotion right now. Some people seem to have heard the sound of battle and seen what was going on and got the hell out of there.
All right. So after a while, I decided, hey, I'm going to go down. I don't need to see it. It can be in my mind. I go down. I will look at what remains of D. Oh, you actually have it. So D's dead, right?
Yeah.
He's definitely dead. Is there 2 thumbs open or just one?
Just one. But as you are inspecting D, suddenly a dark shadow rises up from him.
Oh, you want me to roll initiative again?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was an asshole, actually. No wonder he became a Spectre.
Right?
Yeah.
The dark shadow reaches out with its shadowy hand and tries to touch you.
Well, This is science. I'm activating the vampire blade on this. I mean, logically, is this an undead or just an evil thing? Is this qualified as undead in my knowledge?
It's an undead, and also you can't activate it again this day. You need another long rest.
That's true. I can't, and it's true. This is an undead. Yeah, of course. So I'll just do a typical whack. I've held it, so my Hemocraft is still on it.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't have set your blade down after all this.
Yeah, I keep it up just in case, So here you go. Nothing happens.
Yeah, you stab at the shadow, but it just like discorporates and then appears again slightly in a different position.
Yeah. D, your asshole. Grave robbing, I can understand. But backstabbing me, that's what happens to you.
So obviously it doesn't hit again.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that the shadow of D, who was not that powerful, is not going to be as much a problem as this vampire bitch.
Probably not, no.
There you go, crit on that.
15, 21, and radiant damage. You stab the shadow and it just explodes in a burst of like light like a firework.
All right. I'm going to put my sword at his throat and go right through it. I want to make sure that thing doesn't rise.
At his throat?
Yeah, D's head goes off.
Oh, you cut his head off. Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the sense that, I don't want this to be raised because it's a corpse.
Yeah.
I want it to be decapitated with radiant damage.
Yep.
If it does anything, and I want to be certain that I'm not going to have trouble with that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take a vial and recuperate some of the blood that is probably still flowing.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to have a vial of D's blood. And I'm going to put this in my document about material as gloomy as it sounds.
Gonna harvest anything else from him?
Yeah. Like no scribble. I mean, at this point, it's a CR1 thing if he was level 1.
I believe it's a CR1. I'll double check that, but yeah.
Well, the shadow, I don't know, but D, no. If D was level 1, he's less than a level 1. It might be CR.
No. He's a local champion. I'll look up what the CR is of those real quick.
Right. Because as gloomy as it sounds, no one knows that I'm here. And I do blood magic. And this guy's an asshole, and he tried to betray me. So doing alchemy with human parts is just, as gloomy as it gets.
He was a challenge rating 1.
All right.
And the shadow was a challenge rating 1/2.
Yeah, but I can't harvest anything from the shadow.
Right. So what else are you harvesting from D? You gonna harvest D's eyes?
D's blood. D's
blood.
Eyes.
Yeah.
I'm just writing that.
You gonna harvest D's?
I mean, I've got time.
Are you gonna harvest D's nuts?
Nope.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help but once I realized his name was D and you were harvesting D's this and D's that, I was like, oh my god, I have to I have to ask him if he's gonna harvest D's nuts.
Hey, do you want D's? Do you want some of D?
Yeah, do you want some of D's?
Yeah, and then you want a little bit of D. So no, I'm not going to go for that. I could have if I needed an aphrodisiac or a charm potion or anything, but no. I'm mostly going to think about eyes, although the eyes of a normal human, he looks normal human.
But
Um,
he did turn into a shade, a shadow, a wraith.
oh yeah, yeah, he did turn into
So
a
so
shadow.
maybe there's some residual mumbo
Yeah.
jumbo going on there.
So all his armor and weapon and everything is going to become scrap for me. So I can say I have metal to melt and to chip off and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So that's just a lot of leather and metal to that goes in my scrap bag that will just like overweight me until I come back to my shack.
Yeah.
But now that he's dead, I'm gonna go and squat in his house.
You don't think anybody else is going to have questions about that?
Oh, you're just gonna have to. I mean, they're gonna have to accept what I say about it,
Or what?
or doubt. I mean,
Okay. Just the way you were saying that, it was like, wait a minute, are you like threatening them?
no, I mean, some of them might have seen me leave, but I would come back and say a terrible thing happened, this and that. Hey, whoa, I'm not done. I am not done.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Later, I will crash in his home unless I see that it's a problem. But I'm not done because here is loot enough for him to shout in happiness of finding shit. So there will be that loot.
Oh.
But I'm
Oh.
not done with his brain and his heart because brain and heart it is, and I just need to see if it works or not.
Okay.
I'm sorry, brain I won't because I'd keep his head intact.
Oh, yeah, so you can show everybody? Especially if you like cut it off so that the vampire bite marks were still obvious.
Yeah, it's my vampiric blade, so it probably made a sharp thing. And I would show them like this is a problem I have, and I'm gonna show them also parts of a zombie. Maybe cut one of the heads that
Sure.
that I did not destroy, taking the brain, but bring it and say we have a problem, and that's a problem. And D wanted me to. I never got his real name actually, so I'm gonna whip up a story and see if they agree to it. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm still gonna go for D's heart, and you have to tell me roll something or it can't be guaranteed because I need to dig in his cage and stuff.
Yeah, you have to roll medicine.
All right. That's a very good idea. Roll medicine. No advantage because
No.
he's undead.
All
No.
right, so you actually like cut a large portion of it trying to get it out, and it's like kind of half of a heart. So you might be able to salvage something from it, but like it's not going to be as potent as it would have been.
Okay. So uh, damaged heart.
Yeah, damaged heart or half a heart.
Yeah. We'll remember because I'm gonna go spend a lot of downtime in screwing around with this.
Yeah.
Um, and that's it. The armor.
He had on half plate.
All right. Can we just say I'm just gonna trash this and screw around with it, and that's it.
Sure.
It's gonna become scraps.
Yeah.
I'm not scrapping it now. Now I'm just gonna pack it
Of
as
course.
as
Of
I
course.
can. And if someone says, "Well, I want his armor. He was my son," I'll see what I do with this. But
Okay.
you know, um, I
What
really
what
don't want
about
to
his
have
bastard?
my guy who killed him.
Right. What about his bastard sword?
Yeah, I'll take it. That I'll
Okay.
take it, and I'll say who wants it.
Okay.
Um, Loot. What was he happy about?
All right. So, as you're looking around the room, you see that he had a bag, and stuffed in the bag is all kinds of gem encrusted plaques that have like little uh, depictions of all of the von Liechtenstein famous family like lore. So like there's one that is like a gold and gem encrusted depiction of Victor von Liechtenstein leading his armies to victory. And there's a picture of Frederick von Liechtenstein with his wife Catherine sitting on their thrones.
And these are plaques,
Yeah, they're it's like you know how they have like those
tablets.
yeah, you know how they have like those collectible plates that are like,
Yeah.
expensive and all of that have like pictures on them. It's like that, but it's even better because like all of the pictures are highlighted with like gems. So like
Yeah.
so like if the sun is in a picture, it's like a big yellow topaz that like shines like the sun. And if there's like someone with blue eyes, they have little sapphires like marking their eyes. And
So
like
what one is? Do I need to describe everything? You just say it's all history related to the von Liechtenstein.
right.
Do you tell me the amount, or I need to know them for the story?
Well, the amount itself is variable depending on who exactly you talk to, but for a amount as if it was written as an item in the book, each one of the plates is worth about 50 gold pieces. Two
Each.
two two uh 500 gold pieces depending on like who you sell it to.
Yeah. So 50 to 500 gold piece each. How
Right.
many tablets are there?
There are 10.
10. Yeah. That's cool. So that can mean, I mean, if I just say I salvage it from the history of the von Liechtenstein at a big city, a museum that collect that information, it would give much more.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for the tablet. Was there anything?
Yes. That was just the first thing.
Yeah.
So then what got him really excited was when he unlocked the two tombs. The first one that is now open had a treasure chest filled with opals, rubies, uh, other assorted gems, platinum, gold, silk, all told, approximately 3,500 gold pieces worth of materials.
All right. So the the part that is, what I'll do is I'll keep the opals, rubies, assorted gems to craft, and the platinum and the gold. How much was there of platinum and gold in there?
Probably 1,000 gold pieces worth of platinum and gold.
All right, so I'll just lower the gems to 2,500 worth of gems, and I'll add to currently on me 1,000 extra gold value because that's currency.
Right. There's
So
probably there's probably like 3 to 500 in platinum, so like 30 to 50 pieces of platinum, and then the rest in gold.
okay, so 1,050 in platinum inventory. 50 in platinum means 500 gold.
Yep.
So and another 500 in gold itself. So I'm at
Yep.
5,170 of that. And that will be in my stash, my hidden stash, quickly.
So there is one tomb left sealed.
Where did the vampire come? It came from the one that was just opened.
Yes.
Do I feel like opening another tomb? Because you know what? Not sure I have what it takes to face another vampire. So I will investigate the second tomb. Don't know which one it was, so just
Yeah.
imagine those. Um, to try to see if there's any activity of coming in and out in the last few days to see if I'm taking a risk opening it.
No, so you don't see any sign that anybody was coming out of either of them.
All right, so that means there was one that came out of the first one. Like the big tomb was the sarcophagus opening, and then D started to freak out. What about
Yes.
this pillar here? What is this?
It's just a pillar.
All right, okay, so just a pillar in the room.
Yep.
I will look at the walls and do an active search or investigation for any clue, any detail that comes out.
Okay.
I'll let you decide what we do with
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So as you're looking around, you can see that this is one of the von Liechtenstein like cousins. They're not part of the official royal lineage, but they are, just important, wealthy people who settled here in this town 1,000 years ago and should have been dust by now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do a tinkering contraption using leather straps from the armor and the bastard sword as a sturdy lever because a bastard sword is thick and sturdy. So that with my minimal strength, I can just pull off a few inches of the cover, not remove it completely. Just
It's still locked. You'd have to take the key and unlock it.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll take the key from the dead hand of D. Of course, I would
Yep.
have seen them searching him. And there's a lock, so maybe just the lock is it. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna try to do a sleight of hand. Okay, because I'm gonna try to my sword is still in my hand. I've been doing a lot of work. Just I don't want to lose the glow of the sword. I will light a torch and keep it in the ground, and I will put an ultimus fire not so far from it, but not close enough to blow it because I'm not a level 1 idiot. I'm a level 4 idiot. So if anything happens, my ready action would be to throw in the ultimus fire as strong as I can in the sarcophagus and the torch. Like if I just put myself in trouble right now, I would do that. So I'll put the key in. Click. Anything happens?
Yes.
My hand's on the archery fire. What happens?
The panel drops down, revealing a second chest.
All right. I'll pull the chest away. See if it causes trouble.
So far, nothing.
And the sarcophagus is now I can see in it.
Yes.
And it's just a corpse.
There is a bit of a skull, a few other bones, but mostly just rotten clothes.
And it's withered, not preserved.
Right.
All right. Does the chest seem to have anything suspicious, crap, or otherwise?
It is made of a strange black wood set with black steel locks and the lock itself is in the shape of a raven.
All right. I'm gonna pack myself. I'm at maximum here. I'm like encumbered, so I will just slowly tow away myself, my ass back to the shop, the hovel that was offered to me in the village during the night. Lock my door from the inside. Not try to open the chest. Just have a long rest. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. The
Okay.
chest is next to my bed. Well, I mean, it can be anywhere in my shack. It's going to be next to my bed. It's a little thing.
Right.
And I'm in my shack, wherever that is. Yeah. And the champion is not there anymore.
Correct.
I'm going to take a long rest.
All right. So as you are resting, uh, you are thinking about everything that happened, and then suddenly you hear a bunch of the villagers outside demanding that you come out.
Did I get my long rest?
No.
All right. So I come out with no problem. I come out, open the door, I come out. Yeah, me and Mr. D, he just told me his name was D. I know why you're here. Me and Mr. D, we went to investigate why there was so much death. And I just came back to try to rest a bit until I could go and get you. So I'm happy that you're here because I don't have to make an effort to go and get you.
Oh, robble, robble, robble.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can think what you want, but the problem here is of a magical level. There was a vampire in your crypt living there. And I have proof, as gloomy as it is, I have proof that D was bitten and started to change. Please don't freak out.
Roll your
I've,
persuasion.
I've recuperated his head. You know, I mean, roll persuasion. I'm shit in charisma things. Well, 14. Don't freak out, guys. Here's the head.
As you pull the head, someone screams, "Oh God, no! Not D!"
Now look at the bite marks on the neck. Look at the bite marks. These are vampire marks.
Don't freak out. They're not attacking. They're just rolling initiative.
All right. Me too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a rolled encounter. Like who says what and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm. So you're explaining that these are vampire marks. Um,
Yeah.
that was your turn with the persuasion. They are not going to attack you this turn.
And then it's my turn again.
Uh-huh.
All right. Think about it. You've been having these death problems for a while. And when I traveled through this village, because it is my profession to hunt the undead, I decided to investigate with D. and it led to his death as we were attacked by many creatures of the night. Please go and see yourself in the cemetery and see all the corpses that are there that we had to put down. I will wait here.
The hell you will! String 'em up!
You say, I'm going to step back in my home and wait for you guys to go and check the amount of zombies that we had to kill. All right? And if you can't see reason, well, I can't help you. It's not going to bring Dee back. I'll wait until you're done with your investigation. There's probably a smart one around you that will, there has to be someone smart amongst them that will see reason.
They're demanding that you come with.
All right. I am voluntarily coming with, but I'm coming with my weapons. Not against you, but if we're attacked again, I need to be able to defend you. And I will hold on to my weapon. And I hammercraft it already. Fuck that. I mean, they're making this difficult, so.
That means you have to hold it. They don't like that. If you brandish your weapon, they're probably going to attack.
I'm not brandishing it. I've got my hand on the hilt.
Okay.
That's enough. I'm just not leaving it. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to tell them, I'm going with you out of my good heart. You have to tone down. I didn't kill Dee. I tried to save his life. I'm not going to say he betrayed me because,
Yeah, you don't need to get into all that. Yeah.
All right. To save his life. He got attacked by zombies and vampires. Okay. So yeah, let's go to the cemetery and they'll see the corpse themselves. But if anyone approaches me or tries to unhand me, he'll get a bash from my shield.
Yeah. All right. So you guys do go there and they do see everything and it's enough for them to calm down and everybody comes back to the village.
All right. But wait, don't disband. Don't disband. Now that I've got your attention, we need to do something about this. I mean, at this point, I think I've got rid of the problem for a while. But I'm going to ask your permission to establish a shop here. And I'm going to need your help or else the problem will come back. Do you understand this?
So what? We got to buy your snake oil or we're going to be infested with zombies?
No. You just have to provide with me a space bigger than this one so that I can install a shop where I'll be able to comfortably craft the tools so we can fight them. And it's not going to cost you anything else than space for me to work. I can't work in this little shack. I need something bigger.
What do you mean? This is like 15 by 15. That's bigger than any house I grew up in.
All right. Well, you heard me. If there's anything bigger, more comfortable, so I can install myself, maybe take an apprentice amongst you, if you're interested in learning how to fight vampires.
Yeah. We heard you over here. Hold on, I'm looking for it.
Yeah, well, it could
be right down here.
All right, so I'm gonna zoom out. You're gonna say down here. Oh, okay. What is down here? I don't see shit because of the. What is this? Okay, seriously, on this one, is it necessary to have the dynamic lighting? Because I see it's so hard and the dynamics is not following the buildings. Like you've got the dynamic lighting on a field of prop, and inside the house there's none. I mean, it's rotten.
Oh, is it not lining up?
Yes, this one is not lining up. Usually it is, and it was for a while, but I just moved. You just said, yeah, right here, and all I see is so much dark.
Yep.
And it was literally like the building shadows was in the middle of a field and one tree, and the two actual houses had no shadow at their door. So it just,
Yeah, yeah.
all right. It's the first time it happened. So okay, so basically this place
Yep.
that looks much more comfortable. All right. So even it means being exhausted a bit, I will take back everything from my house. I will make sure when they're not there that I can take the money that I had hidden under the floor, and I won't sleep today. I'll just make sure that I have another place to hide my stuff.
Yep.
Under the
Yep.
blanket. Okay, and once I've got the hidden place done, then I'll rest because I don't want to be in disadvantage because of exhaustion on crafting my lock, and I'm gonna redo all of this. But having a better space to be in is good. And there's a nice fireplace here, and it's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna be more comfortable in a bigger place. Yeah, so now I can take a long rest, and I hope that they stop freaking out.
Yeah.
In a way, I think the problem is resolved because I did kill the vampire that was causing the trouble. But I use this to sell the point that they need some specialist on the topic, and hopefully they'll, understand.
Right.
And maybe over the months or the weeks or whatever, they'll see the cool shit that I can do in a helpful manner. But for now, yeah, that's that.
Okay.
Cool. Long rest.
Yes.
I'm gonna get back to 47 hit points. These vampires. The next day, I'm gonna take another round of going to see all the peasants that now are kind of interested, I guess.
Yes, of course.
Walk by and ask anything they need repaired because there's always a need for something to be repaired. Oh, and that's after doing my door. I want to do the door with the special lock thing.
Right.
And then I'm gonna go and just spend an entire day buying credibility by being useful, by giving them better tools and fiddling around with the tinkering. Do you want to roll for this, or we just say
Uh
I've done that?
I want you to roll in general for tinkering, and that's going to flavor how I do things. Like, obviously, you're going to be useful and tinker and all of that no matter what you roll, but, like, perhaps you do something extra special depending on how this goes.
All right. So a 16 is better than a 2. So
Yeah,
it's still not a 20, but hey.
right. But, you don't have to roll a 20 every time just to have things go well. So you are tinkering around, and the one thing that catches your eye is the fact that these guys are still using an old style well. They don't know how to make an artisanal well. And so you know that you can set about making one. It's going to take you longer than a day to do it, but you can get them
Yeah.
a well that they don't have to dip a moldy old bucket into.
Yeah, because what they have is a well made by a mason, which is just a rock wall and it goes deep.
Yes.
Okay, now if they want to have a wheel well with a winch and stuff like that, like a pump well, I can do that.
Right.
All right. So I will, since I've perceived that, I think for many days I'll be focused on making the well because access to water is so much more important. And these villagers will probably be much more positive once the water is so easy to extract.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going to waste a bunch of days. And yeah, because seriously, I need to be in a place where they trust me and they have a positive view of what I do. Or else it's gonna be shit. Every time I come with a stranger, who's that? What's he creeping about again? I
Yeah.
don't want this kind of bad neighbor gaze all the time. I want them to say, "Hey, Heinrich, this is so cool." You know, "Hey, how are
Yeah.
you doing today? Oh, you got a new friend." Kind of good neighborhood.
Yeah.
And also, um, in the evening, I am going to do alchemy. You know that an alchemist can do potions of healing
Mm-hmm.
of the lowest level. Actually, an herbalist and an alchemist can both do potions. An herbalist uses herbs, an alchemist uses metals and rocks and piece of wood and the dirt that he finds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And each potion do have a value in gold. It doesn't require gold invested, but it does require a certain value of product. The only product that is worth anything right now is the gems and the radiant powder. The radiant
Mm-hmm.
the augmenting powder that I've
Yeah.
extracted, and I had only a bit left that I've mentioned after
Right.
giving most of it. Um, so in this case, searching for a mine, I will ask them if there is a mine for minerals anywhere around.
Yeah, over in Kiz and then over by Castra.
All right, so right here, there's no mining facility or place to get minerals.
Not right here, no.
Okay, so I guess I would take information on how they get their other goods and tools, like if they order from the traveling merchants and then later the products come by.
Yeah, I mean they bring us what they can when they can, you know.
All right. So what I'll do is the next time they pass by, even though it might take time, I'm going to order um, enough to make 10 potions of healing, the basic ones. Um, each of them will cost me 12 pieces of gold in material. So instead of extracting the material, I'll purchase, all these metals, a bit of zinc, a bit of copper. Basically, it's multivitamins and stuff like that.
Right.
and magic alchemy and whatever. And so to make these 10 potions will require me 10 days once I have the products to make them with, and my financial cost is half. So 12.5 gold per.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is how Xanatar's guide works. You need to have half the value, and if I don't find it elsewhere, if I just want to purchase it from merchant, it's half the value of the potion itself
Got it.
to craft it. And I believe the potion is 50 gold, is it? Or is it 25? No, it's 25 because it's a consumable. I have to check that. Yeah, of course, in this guide they don't say it. So the potion that gives 2d4 plus 2.
I think it's 50.
Yeah. So if it's 50, I need to invest 25 gold. No, that's the thing. I'll go back to the Xanatar's guide to try to see. Usually to craft an item, it's half the cost in materials if I don't acquire the materials elsewhere. If I want to buy it at merchant. So it would be the same for a potion, I guess.
Right.
Xanatar. Okay, so the crafting time and cost for a common reusable item that is a consumable is 25 gold piece of valued material. And since I don't want to gather that, I'm going to pay 250 gold. I'm going to promise 250 gold for the merchant that will bring me the materials I need. And I give him a list.
Okay.
And I'll wait. And I'll be
Well,
doing everything.
there's not a merchant here right now, but in the next few days, one will come through.
Yeah, well, I'm going to spend a few weeks of downtime now because I've got all
Okay.
these bones and hearts that I can do 1 or 2 per day if I do nothing else. But now I'm building the well during the day. I'm helping the neighbors. I'm doing some tinkering around their houses and
Mm-hmm.
repairing the leaks in their roofs and all this stuff. So I cannot do 2 alchemist fire in a day. I can do only 1 because I'm spending the rest of my day actually working to
Right.
earn my keep. So I can do 1 per day. So with the 2 zombie brains, I will do 2 necrotic potions, necrotic fire, sorry. And with the 5 zombie hearts, I'm gonna do 5 holy fire with my
Okay.
blood and everything. And that's for the zombie parts that I've extracted. Um, the other materials that's gone. So I've got these blood, eyes, and damaged heart.
Yep.
These 3 things will be an entire evening of experimentation. I don't know. I'm just going to make something and then try to guess what it does. So, eyes, blood, and the damaged heart.
Okay.
And to make it, actually, you know what? I think I know what to do with this. This is a shadow thing, right?
Possibly.
And I've got the gems to do an actual alchemical device. Yeah. I've got 2,500 gold piece worth of gems, and I've got some metal from his armor and his bastard sword. So that's enough to make a rare item. Yeah, this is gonna be. I'm gonna make a freaking rare item. Check this out. The alchemist is the one who makes the summoning tools, like a sensor of summon air elemental, a fire pit of summon fire elemental. These things. I don't know if you ever heard about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
All right, it is the
It's a
alchemist.
brazier of
Yeah,
summon
it's a brazier,
fire.
exactly. So this is made by a alchemist. For example, the alchemist is not just potions. It's anything that transmutes matter into things that are special. So what doesn't fall into smithing because it's not a weapon, in tinkering because it's not a lock or a chain, what doesn't fit into masonry or cooking, it falls in alchemy because this is a transmutation of metal and the infusing of magical properties. And yeah, it would take 2,000 gold piece worth of material. So I could put gems. It would take 10 work weeks, and you would have to make a roll to see if there's a complication. It doesn't mean the crafting fails, but it means they give ideas like your tools got stolen, or a local wizard was interested by an alchemist, so it
Right.
kind of made trouble, or a powerful noble goes by and he's not really happy with someone fucking around. So anyway, and that doesn't mean there will be complication, it just means there could be.
Oh, right. Right.
Okay. It also said that I need to have encountered at least 9 levels of CR of things like zombies, vampire stuff. Now I need to have worked through encounters. So it's not necessarily a device or a part from a CR9 creature, but that the amount of CRs I've faced in the process is at least 9 in total. I don't know if you want to see the rules.
Yeah, except for the way I'm reading that is that you need parts from a CR9 worth of encounters, like you said, could be.
Oh yeah, and
could
the
be
eyes would not be enough. I would need a lot more brain
right.
yeah. So I have the material, but I have the gold word value. But I mean these CR parts are also part of the value anyway. So I would not bust all the things, but just having CR1 of these blood, eyes, and damaged heart, and all these three things count for CR1. Just one CR of encounter. It's the same guy.
Exactly.
So because I could not get anything from the vampire. Yeah, I have what it takes. I have the time, but I don't have the components to make that. And it's
Right.
advanced. And I'm still level 4, and maybe it's too early to have summon shadow spirit kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'll settle for making green uncommon items instead, because these are super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, these require components from CR4 if I so maybe pieces of the zombie could go in there instead of the alchemy potions.
Yeah. But you did get hearts and brains and the zombies. There was 6 of them, so that's a CR3 right there.
Yeah. So if I put D, it's a CR4, and I can do something magical.
Yep.
I think crafting myself one magical item that would take me just 10 days and no complication roll is more logical. And I would have to infuse about 200 gold piece worth of jewels in the process. So I'll do that. I'll remove 200 because I'll do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to choose what magic item I want to do. But I'm going to have another magic item because, I mean, there's too much shit that causes me trouble.
Yeah.
And I still want to order alchemical material for 500 golds, so that when the merchant passes, he gets my order, and then a few days later, maybe he brings it, maybe not.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 10 days of just working around, crafting stuff. I'm doing the potions with the brains and the hearts. I'm keeping on everything. That's the decision. Yeah.
Right. You chose against doing alchemist instead to get the magic item.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of useful stuff, but I think having a magical item will prove to be more useful.
Depending on what you pick, yeah.
Yeah. I am an alchemist, so it's not going to be boots of flying,
Right.
And it has to be with something undead and yeah, because it's all parts are from undead parts. All the parts I have now available are from undead parts. So if you give me 30 seconds, I will enjoy if I can make myself a jewel of something. Well, not as a jeweler, but an alchemist that makes a device.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine as a thinker, I can strap a device on my arm, so it's not a necklace, but it's imbricate in my armor something, so that my armor would have that little
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just strap it in. Just an object that gives me. So one thing that troubled me is the life drain. So I'm gonna do a Arcana thinking. I'm gonna think Arcana. Hey, I'm trying to look at my thing. At advantage. 11. That's not insane. But my objective is that vampire drained me. Is there anything that would piss off a vampire in my blood so that he doesn't want it anymore? Become repulsive to them.
Mm-hmm. So your investigation into something like that doesn't reveal much, but you did realize that drinking or draining undead life harmed you. You're not sure if there's something about that. If you could maybe give yourself like a negative energy aura so it thinks it's going to take your positive energy to refill it and then it ends up taking negative energy. Maybe a negative times a negative is a positive or something. You don't know.
What if the same way that my vampire blade draining the essence of undead hurt it, I'm a blood hunter. I do hemocraft work to make my blood radiant. What if they take
Mm.
radiant damage?
Inside them, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he tries to drain me. I lose the life because he drains the blood, but that doesn't heal him. It gives him the equivalent in radiant damage.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So in the contraption, in addition to the undead part, I would put my blood multiple times during the many days
Yes.
and incant so that the device would charge my blood with radiant magic
Mm-hmm.
while I have, I need to, put some kind of condition, or else it would become a blue item. So you just have to put a condition. It's why I am holding a right weapon, a weapon with my right on it.
Yeah. So it is going to be the blood gauntlet, and what it does is it keeps your blood constantly infused with your weapon that has the right, thereby uh,
Cool.
dealing 1 point of damage per round, but making your blood radiant as well.
It does 1 point of damage per round to whom?
To you.
Oh shit. So it does give me 1 point of damage per round.
Mm-hmm. In order to keep your blood tied to the weapon, it's basically cutting you. But instead of dealing 1d4 damage, and you could take 4 damage right away, it just deals 1 damage per round.
Will it remove the 1d4 each time I activate the Hemocraft?
Right. Exactly. Yes.
All right, so that gauntlet would transform the entire process.
The entire
So,
process.
yeah, so it just activate my Hemocraft. I'm going to take 1 point of damage per round.
Yes, and whatever the right is that you have activated, that's what your blood becomes. So your blood becomes radiant if you have the radiant. Your blood becomes fire if you have the fire.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know
Cool.
how having fire blood would be useful to you, but
No, at this point, an ogre that has problem with fire would not suck my blood and take fire damage. There's no point. It's really for the vampires.
right.
So basically, sometimes I put my Hemocraft on something, and it does 2-3 damage, which I would lose in 3 rounds in that concept.
Right.
So, but also the undead doesn't know that I would literally let him train me to
Yeah.
do extra damage at this point.
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna craft this. I'm gonna put it in my inventory, and that is 10 days.
Okay. So, as we discussed, you're gonna roll your craft. But it's just
Yeah. See if it's shit.
Yep.
Yeah. I just put the gauntlet of Hemocraft.
Yep.
The Hemocraft gauntlet.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. And this is a alchemy device that I just pad into the gauntlet I took, let's say, from the armor of. This is a normal roll. This is not advantage. It's an 11.
Yeah. So like we said, not everything
Yeah.
has to be perfect or complete shit. There's a lot of stuff that it just is. There you go. You made it.
All right. So from now on, I activate, but I have to think 1 point per turn. If I have to fight 15 turns, this is where I need those potions of healing.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It just changes everything about it. So yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, changing the core rules. Let's do this because that's the point.
Yeah.
So if I fight something that is not undead, maybe I will not want to do any extra damage.
Right. Well, and you can wear the gauntlet without having to activate that property of it,
Yeah, I have to turn my thumb left and push so the little dart doesn't hurt me and
right.
shit like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes down to it,
Yeah.
you have the gauntlet on and ready to use, but you're not using it just because you have it on.
By default, still keep the right on. It's always on my attacks. Keep it on because I'm pretty sure that whatever I attack, if it's weak, I'll want to get rid of it faster, and if it's strong, I'll need the extra damage anyway.
Yeah.
And it's part of the blood hunter that he uses his blood during combat. So you know, it took me 6 point of health the other time
Yeah.
uh, to activate my longbow and then to activate the sword.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, and I fought much more than 6 rounds.
Right.
But that damage that I took, that 8 damage that I lost, I mean, I would have preferred that this vampire goes down instead of trying
Right.
to.
Oh yeah, that was a 16-point swing. You lost 8 and he gained 8.
Yeah, exactly. That's a major difference. I
Exactly.
would rather that we both lose 8,
Right.
and I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So basically, I inspired myself by the event of when I vampired a vampire, so that when he sucks someone with radiant blood, I mean, it happens, right?
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, for crafting a magical item, you do get a point of inspiration that you can use to give yourself advantage on any roll.
Oh, I gain an inspiration. I'm
Yes.
going to write it somewhere where it says the
It's on the front page of the sheet.
core stat, and where is it? Inspiration. Inspiration. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like inspiration is on. It doesn't
Yep.
mean okay. There's no like total dice of inspiration. It's
No, no.
I currently have it. I can give myself advantage at one point.
Yep.
All right, so I have inspiration.
Yep.
Cool.
And with that, we shall draw to a close as
Yeah.
the curtain closes on another session of Shadows of the Past. Thank you for playing. Thank you, anyone, for watching. And as always, everyone,
Good.
good gaming.